Hello, friends. Okay, so the last thing that we did on my end, you guys have done more since then, obviously, was the Unit 3, the discussion about the Protestant Reformation. Okay, so then you've gone through the Counter Reformation, learned about all of that, and kind of what you learned about what all that. Um, what else that brought to pass, right? Because it was a really, really big deal, okay? And then you've gone on to learn about the printing press and Catholic and Protestant politics and all of that. So now you need to do the Unit 3 project, which is about Martin Luther and the Protestant Reformation, okay? This project has three parts, okay? So by three parts, I mean like three separate papers, basically, all right? So first of all, I need you to create a poster for Martin Luther's 95 Theses, okay? Remember that we already have gone over them, all right? And I have the link to where to find them later in the assignment, okay? So the instructions are imagine that you're helping Martin Luther spread his ideas. He wrote 95 points about his issues with the Catholic Church, but many people cannot read or understand them easily. Your task is to summarize 10 of these. So you choose the 10 most important ones and put them in one sentence bullet points that are simple and easy to understand. And then create a poster using a document, a presentation, or whatever you want to use, and make sure that you have a picture of Martin Luther in the center of it, and then you have your bullet points around the picture, and make sure that you title your poster Martin Luther's 95 Theses. Okay, so the idea is that you are making this for the common man at this time, okay, who's barely starting to learn how to read. Okay, so keep it very, very simple. All right, and then part two is you're going to write an obituary for Martin Luther. Um, an obituary is um, basically a death notice. Okay, um, so something that's given in a newspaper or something like that. Okay, I mean now it's kind of like online, but whatever, right? Okay, so you need to include a headline about his death and put in a small picture of Martin Luther. Mention his date and place of birth and date and place of death. Talk about his early career as a monk and what led him to challenge the Catholic Church, and explain how Luther started the Protestant Reformation. Okay, um, make sure that you highlight his legacy, what he is remembered for. Okay, remember this is an obituary. This is a pretty big deal. Okay, obituaries are probably like around 300 words or so. Okay, so make sure you have it about that long-ish, and make sure um, that you keep it respectful, and keep it what you would. Okay, then part three is you're going to write a eulogy for another religious reformer. Okay, so this is where I want you to do your own research. Okay, a eulogy is a speech honoring someone who has died, so it's like you're speaking at their funeral. Okay, so choose a religious reformer who lived after Martin Luther. I mean, there's not really any that lived before, so that shouldn't be hard. Okay, do some research to learn about their life and their impact and all of that kind of stuff. Date and place of birth and death, of course. Discuss their early career and what led them to their reform efforts. Explain what Reformation this person was part of and their legacy with that. and mention what this person believed about the afterlife according to their teachings. Okay, so basically, you're going to say, you are giving a speech at the funeral of John Knox, okay? And you know that John Knox, so you find out what John Knox believed about the afterlife. And it says here, he believes that God loves all of the creation, and we do not believe that God is punishing nor cruel, or that God would want us to experience pain or harm. So we would say that that we know that John Knox is in a peaceful place because God would not want anything. God would not want anyone to suffer because he loves all of his children. Okay, so make sure that you include that in the eulogy. All right. So just imagine that you're speaking at the funeral. Speak in a way that honors the contributions and the beliefs. Okay. Here are some sources. Look at the online library for I Succeed students. There's an article in World Book Student that gives a good synopsis of Martin Luther. The MLA citation at the bottom of the article is pretty good too. And then here's another reformer that you can look at. There's a great article from the Library of Congress. There are also several pictures. And then here's a link to the 95 Theses that we already used, okay? So in order to score well on this project, you need to, for the theses, you need to summarize them well and use them in the outlined format. For the obituary, you need to cover date and place of birth and death, early career as a monk, fight against the Catholic Church, and the Protestant Reformation and his legacy. And then for the eulogy, you need to cover date and place of birth and death, religious reformation done, the legacy, and how they are in the afterlife. Okay, that's pretty important. And make sure that you have at least 3 works cited in MLA format at the end in order to get all of those points there. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks so much. Bye.